it points to the fact about so much important work that a coach can do in the off season. You know, it just points to sometimes we wring our hands or complain that this kid has senioritis or this kid, he's not going anywhere, and we don't take any action, whether it be, you know, we usually will talk to him and then we stop there rather than try something else. You know, think a little bit out of the box, come up with a suspension, ban him from the weight room. You know, some coaches would think, oh, they won't get stronger. No, you got to, you know, you got to hit them where it hurts, wherever that is. You got to find something that means something to them and don't let them participate in it, so they know you're, you know, you mean business. Here's where I fall. I don't have a steadfast rule. I don't have, you know, if you're not doing this, you can't play, because I think every kid's different, and as you know, some kids' home lives are wildly different, and some kids, when they're not involved in the activity, whether weightlifting or practice, they actually do worse in school. I've found that in certain situations. So, you know, I think it's about knowing your kids really well. The only way you can know your kids really well is to know them on a personal level and try things. You know, if you tell them, you know, you can't, maybe they're not doing the academic things that another kid is, that you suspended the same kid, but this kid, you might say, you know what, I'm going to let him come to the workouts and see what happens. And I think sometimes you find that a kid has to be involved in something after school. If he doesn't have anything, you know, ultimately, why do kids play sports? Because they think they're coming to high school to play sports, not get an education, some of them. So if you take that away and then they're just at school and they don't have anything to go with it, none of the real incentive they have for being here every day, being on time. So I don't have steadfast rules. I do what's best for each kid, as long as it's fair to the group. That's a big thing with me, fairness. And so nobody's handed anything. So if someone's has missed a bunch of workouts because of academic reasons, or they're not doing as well as the others are doing academically, you know, they probably won't rep with the first unit. We'll make sure we give them enough reps to not discourage them, but we want to reward the kids who are doing things the way they're supposed to be doing too. So. It's kind of like we talk about often with management teams, that you hire managers and you throw them on the job and you don't develop them, and then you say that's not a very good leader. Well, you know, if I as a head coach, if someone said, hey, Reyes has leadership, you know, he's a good leader, he knows how to run a program, he knows how to manage people, that didn't come naturally. That was developed. You know, it was developed through training classes and developmental activities I went through, and jobs I had, or readings that I did. And I think we have to approach kids the same way. You throw them out there and say, oh, he's not a leader. You know, we have to bring the kids along. They have to be shown and told what kind of things are do's and don'ts and stuff. I think we owe them that. We're going to talk about that also Wednesday, and I'm going to throw some names out to the coaches. And then I'm going to have to sit down with these kids and talk to them about what we're looking for in a captain. And then sometimes I leave it up to the kids' vote, and sometimes I don't. So we're going to kind of see where that goes. I think you got to really make sure it's a person, when the chips are down, people are going to listen to. That's why I think we probably look at the best athlete, and that's okay, but we have to make sure they know how to talk to people and know how to fulfill the role. You know, how are they going to handle stressful situations in the game?